caps for these have always been a bit of a drama. They are aluminium and they're always bent. They did a snappy looking plastic one, which are almost impossible to find. And then there's a third problem is, fits really good. They're different bloody sizes too. So what we've decided to do is do an Impul Hoshino cap. Okie dokie, here we are back with the Hoshino cap tool. It's in the machine already. You've already punched out a nice little disc, so she's ready to go. Took quite a bit longer to get our modifications made. What he had to do was the clip type ones, so the G5 type ones, which are these ones here, that's an actual real one. The clips weren't engaging properly, so he made some modifications to that, but they were too short and I actually had to weld them up to take material off. So he thinks he's gone too far, but that's good because it's easier to take material off, take metal off to put plastic on than it is to go around the other way, if you know what I mean. Anyway, we're just about to put a full shot in it and let's see how we go. So everything's up to temp, hot sprue's up to temperature, material's nice and dry. That's really doing the wavy things because that's how cameras perceive things. My flashing light is on for whatever reason, probably because the door's open. Manual die close. Unit forward. Die open. Alright, single cycle and go. Takes it in the end. Stop. It's going to have shrinkage in it. Well, it needs to have shrinkage in it to look like the original one, which has shrinkage right about there. Because there's a thick section there. Ours are actually thinner than these because we've made them slightly differently. But, we've made them so in the future we can actually do some different sizes on if we want to change the slides over, which are these guys, and that's for the G01. The G5 setup is in there at the moment, but we can make some new slides at the fraction of the cost of actually making a new die. Oh, here we go. And oh, it's even fallen off. Let's have a look. Okay, so there's a bit of air in the system, but it doesn't look too bad. Let's try automatic. Go. The annoying thing is, because this stuff, it actually takes 24 hours to go off properly, but we can tell in about an hour whether it's going to fit or not. So if you put it in, because it's still, basically it's a skin, it's still molten on the inside. So you have two skins with a chocolate center, if you know what I mean, with the cream center. Yeah, so, but within an hour you can tell whether, you know, shrinkage wise and size wise. Oops, there's another one. So I've got to wait an hour now, but yeah, that's better. Oh, little bit of a mark over here. We'll have to snip that off just in the center there to keep it flat, but I got him to raise this too, so the sticker should sit flat. So I'll make about 4 or 5 of these ones, and I might swap the slides over and make the other ones, which I know the size on those ones is good, but it's just the size, the length of these clips and everything on this one, whether that's actually going to work or not. There's another one. We actually wanted to make them decently solid, so they are really quite solidly made. Not as thick as the original ones, but we didn't want the you know, crappy wafer thin stuff that's just going to crumple in your hands, but you can stand on these things. So one more and then we'll swap the slides over. Okay, haven't actually turned the water on for the die yet. This runs chilled water through the die. We can adjust that temperature to keep the die sort of running smooth and keep everything as it's supposed to be. So the die's pretty hot at the moment. These cores get really hot. Yep, that's stinking hot at the moment. Well, our temps are what, And going to there, what, 220, 230. And here's a good one for you. If you can put your hand on something and keep it on there, the temperature of that something is less than 40 degrees. If you put your hand on, you can't keep it on there, and it's not about being tough. It's about being comfortable. Oh, I can keep my hand on here, and walk away with 30-degree burns. But if you can keep your hand on there, which I can't with this, that means it's over 40 degrees. Probably more like, well, it's had 230, 200 degree, plastic going onto it. So, and there's no water going through it yet. So, yeah, it's pretty hot. Anyway, I'll get stuck in and swap these slides over, and then we'll bash off a few more. Alrighty, so we've swapped those over. There's the ones that have just come out. The slides, as you see, those 3 there make the slots and whatnot on the corner. Now, you can never put a plastic part back in the die because plastic shrinks when you make it. So you want particular sizes. You've actually got to make the tool oversized, because with a formula how much it's going to shrink. But that once again, that depends on how hot it is, how much you've packed it, how thick it is, because the thicker it is, the longer it stays hot. The longer it stays hot, the more it shrinks. So, and they take 24 hours to go right off, so you really can't tell. I think we're pretty certain on these ones he's going to have to do a little bit of work on those because it doesn't quite clip down properly. But we've got the new slides in. What I might do is I'll just clip one of these off flash and put a sticker on, one of the new stickers on, and if it's sticking up, then yeah, before I start it again, I'll take that side of the tool out and put some shim under it. Alrighty, we're just about to find out whether we've got some extra work to do. Moment of truth. This is the hardest part, getting these stupid things straight. So you can see the raised. I got to measure that and get a bit of shim and space that hot sprue back. Alright, so here's where we are. We've popped the die back out of the machine onto the table here and popped the back plate off, and this is our hot sprue unit here. Now what that is there is a heater coil in there, and then this little gizmo here measures the temperature. And underneath that was this little ring here, which spaces it back. So I figure that we need to bring this back 0.3 of a millimeter. I know we had a bit of shim stock around here somewhere, but I couldn't find it anywhere. Finally found this, and this is after I panel beated it flat. And it could be 0.1, I'm not sure. I went over to turn the radio off because, copyright and whatnot. And lo and behold. Only problem is, there's only 2 sheets left, and this is 0.1, and that is, I think, 0.075. So to get my 0.3, I've got to do 3 little circles, cut them out of this stuff, and stick them underneath that to space it up. The bugger is, if it's not right, I've got to take the whole die back out again. Out, back onto the table, and yeah, it's a lot of mucking around, but we want it right, It's cost us a lot of money, this tool, and I want them right. They look really good, and it's just that, that tiny little 5% that needs to be right, and they'll be perfect. Pearls of wisdom, time again. Pearls of wisdom. All right, so if you're ever cutting shim, don't use your mum's dressmaking scissors, because I will not be responsible for the resulting death. So, did any of you spot my deliberate mistake? It's Friday afternoon, I'm thinking about beer. So I put 2.1 shims in underneath the hot sprue, and lo and behold, my bump here has gone from 0.3 high to 0.5 high. Bugger it, I'm going home. I'll tackle this again on Monday. And like that, you'll see me back again, and we'll finish it off and actually get it going. Welcome to Monday. As you float down the river of life, sometimes you leave your brain on an overhanging branch. which is what I did on Friday. I'm just back from RR Tooling with my little gadget here. They basically did it on the spot, the surface ground the thing down the V-stick, and that's got to go in there. We still have a use for our shim though, because that's got to go in behind here and hold the hot sprue in, because what can happen is injection pressure behind this can actually push the hot sprue back that 0.06 of a millimeter that that they took off. So guess what I'm doing this RV. All right, I'm over here at RR Tooling where Nathan here's just got our little ring on the surface grinder. How much are you taking off? Is it 2 B-sticks or 3? Now. Very gently taking aforementioned B-sticks off it. Ready to go? Thank you very much, sir.
There you go.
Okay, thanks, Nate. I thought I'd try it out. We're almost, there's still just a fraction there. So I thought before we go too far, let's see if we, because he took 0.06 off there, and I think he needed 0.07 or 0.08, because it's really hard to see. You can feel it with your finger. This is one of the hardest parts, is actually getting these stickers on. No, see that's, you see that? Oh well. Trials and tribulations. He's got to do a little adjustment in the back here too, so that's too much. All right, here we are again. So yesterday we took off 0.06 of a millimeter, and we still had a little bit sticking up. So this morning we've taken off, I got my hammer and chisel out and chiseled off a further 0.03 of a millimeter. Now I can still pick it up on my fingernail, but let's have a look and see what a sticker looks like. Okay, moment of truth. I reckon that looks pretty damn good. Where's the wheel? Hang on. Man, it's a bit tight. What do you reckon? So DO1 caps are ready to go. Now we just need the slides, so we can do the DO1s, the G5s. Okay, here we are again with, I hope it's final iteration. So put it back in. I haven't hooked any water up to it yet. We just want to bash off a couple of samples. If they look good, then we should be ready to go. So what we've done this time is we have made the ejector pins. You can see them there, 1, 2, 3, 4. We've made them absolutely flush with that surface, and then I asked them to get this absolutely flush, and it looks like it is now. When I first had a look at it before it was turned on, it looked sunken low, but he told me that as these heat up they expand, so he actually got the sizes for that while it was hot, so it should be good to go. So cross your fingers, we'll smash out a couple and see what happens. There you have it. The faintest of line around the edge there, so that should be good to go. These are the DO1 spec ones with the tight fit, so just wait for that to cool down, because that's still quite, it's over 40 degrees. You know my temperature thing. Okay, we've got 4 half decent ones of those, so we'll just chuck them in the box. What I'm going to do now is swap the slides over, which are this part here, for our ones. These ones here make the G5 type, whereas these ones here make the DO1 type. Alright, so now we'll bash off a couple of the G5 types, and then we'll wait for them to cool down and stickers on. Might have to drop the shot size for that one, because the G5 uses quite a bit less material than the DO1 type. So that screws, fills the barrel back up. See, the material was going down there, it's all inside the barrel. And then we wait while it cools down. Normally we run chilled water through the die. The machine did this. We have 2 different cooling systems here. Here it goes. And out she comes. And there you go, you can see the difference. There's your 2 types. As you see, this one here is made by those slides. It has detents built in. See, everything's A about F. Whatever you see as air in this one turns into plastic, so those holes become bumps, and vice versa. We have to have the slides because you can't have that clip there and just push it out of the die. You've actually got to move the metal out of the way first. So that's why those slides on the slide pin, see the sliding in there? As it opens, the slides slide outwards, and boom, we eject it off. I think we'll make 2 more. That gives us 4 of each. And if they're good to go, well, as you see, there's no water hooked up to it at the moment. You can see the fitting on the top there. There's another couple underneath. So yeah, if they're good, we'll hook the water up to it, and I think about 400 of each, which gives us 100 sets of each. Alrighty, so there you have it. That's 4 or 5 of each. Now we're gonna wait for them to cool down or put some stickers on. But yeah, made here in the good old US of Australia.